Meaningful Makeover is a makeover of early learning environments. Teachers don't often have the opportunity to see how other environments are designed. Meaningful Makeover is a chance to see just that. Each episode features a different teacher in their early learning space. And you'll see how our environmental experts make over different areas, why they're making those changes, and how the design promotes learning opportunities. The show is full of tips and ideas for making affordable small changes that have big impact. Welcome to Meaningful Makeover.
Hi, my name's DeEtta Simmons and I'm host of Meaningful Makeover. Today we're in Shoreline, Washington, and we're going to be visiting Nathan and Claire at Friends of the ABC, and we're going to be talking about Meaningful Makeover. Let's go inside. Hi, Claire.
Hi, DeEtta.
Nice to see you. Hi, Nathan.
Hello, welcome to Friends of the ABC.
So the name of our family child care center is Friends of the ABC, and we've been running it for about 8 years, and we currently have 12 children enrolled under our care.
How are you guys today?
Excellent, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here to get a tour of your space today and talk about Meaningful Makeover.
We're excited too.
All right, well, let's get started right away. Tell me about this area. Tell me about your welcoming area, your cubbies.
Well, each child has their own box that they have. They change one, they get a new box every day, but they basically put their names on the box, and this helps them to learn how to spell their name.
Okay.
That sequence. It also is a space that they can put anything they want in.
So you said they switch up the which one they use every day?
Yeah, every night I take
okay.
all the tags and then throw them out or
I see.
recycle them.
So every day they're writing a new name practice.
Correct.
Ah, very good. And do they do that at the table?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So tell me, where do the children store their artwork?
You know, that's one of our biggest problems because they store them in here. And when the cubbies come in and out and in, all the time the artwork gets a little bit crushed.
I see.
So really there's no great place that we have right now to store artwork.
Okay, well that will be something we'll think about in the makeover. So tell me about the table area and what you guys do here.
We do everything at the table. We bring cars to the table, we do artwork at the table. You see there's a couple of activities here right now. When they wake up, they can do work at the table. We eat at the table. It's very much a multi-purpose table.
It's nice to be able to fit everybody all around in the group.
Yes.
Because I know from my observation that you guys really like to have your group time together, and you really have that sense of community.
Absolutely.
My hopes for the makeover is for us to have an improved flow in our classroom so that the children come in and have better access to the great things that's already available to them.
All right, let's go check out the block area. All right, so I know your kids love the block area. When I was here doing my observation, they were building amazing structures. How is the block area working for you?
You know, it's a very well-used area, and there's plenty of access. I don't really see any problems with the block area.
Okay.
As peers, they influence each other positively, and you know they make mistakes, but the best way to learn about leadership is to actually apply it with their friends, and so they see each other's examples, and I think they are very nurturing and caring, and what best teachers can these children have than each other, because they are growing up in the same community.
All right, let's talk about the science area.
A lot of times it's just things that the children bring in,
okay.
Or things that we brought in. Some of these big rocks are from Arizona, some volcanic rock. We actually, on some of our walks, we actually found this, and this actually gets played with the blocks often. We've had a lot of plants on here that we've just moved outside also. So basically anything science, nature. I would say it's more of a nature table than a science table.
Okay. All right, so you wouldn't mind if there were some additions to this area, like some
Absolutely
science
not.
tools or maybe a magnifying glass or something like that?
Yes, that would be fun. That way we can look at the stones a little more closely.
Okay. So tell me about the bench area and how it's working for you.
This is a great spot. We put on our shoes right over here, and then we go and sit down and get ready to go outside, and we read books while we're waiting for everybody else to put on their shoes. One of the problems we have here is the books are not very accessible. If they want to get a book from the bottom, all the books fall out. So that's not working out that well for us. We also have this space under here, which it's kind of a dead space. Every time we put something in it, it gets ruined from the children when they're sitting down. They kick it with the backs of their feet.
Okay. We'll definitely keep that in mind.
And we also do, when everybody has their shoes on, we will do story time. So one of the teachers will sit here and read a book to the children.
Okay. All right, let's check out the circle time room. Yes, let's start right here.
Obviously this is a circle time room, but we just have different activities that they can pull out when they would like to pull it out. With these shelves here, they generally will play with the things that they can see.
Okay.
So the musical instruments, some of the blocks, some of the little people, and obviously the cars and the trucks at the bottom.
So tell me about the dramatic play.
We have all our dress up here, and one of the problems that we have here is that it's all in bins, and a little bit the same as with the musical instruments, we can't see what's at the bottom.
Okay.
Which, there's wonderful dress up down there that just doesn't get used.
And so what would you like to see?
Something that's more on display,
Okay.
so the children can see it. If it's, there's obviously a lot of it here, so if it wasn't all there, we're okay with that.
Is it challenging having the kitchen area and the food over there and the dramatic play over here?
Not really challenging, but they don't really use this area that much. If they use the food, they will bring it to the block area, and they'll make tables with the blocks and use the food over there. But I don't think this is a very effective use of this space over here.
We can think about that. All right, so tell me about how the book area, cozy area is working for you. I really love how you built the bookshelf into the fireplace.
Yeah, it was just some blocks, some larger blocks that we already had that managed to fit in there. We would like to fix it up and make it look a little more complete and finished. But they love the books. They can grab a book and they can come sit down over here. But again, it seems to be a common theme here. The display isn't as great as it could be. You can't see the books. There's no reason to come over here and grab a book because they don't know what it is.
All right, well, we'll definitely think about that. So thank you so much for the tour today, Nathan.
I'm glad you were able to make it.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed also getting a chance to see the kids engaging in the environment. They have so much fun here.
We do have a lot of fun. I know there are several big bottlenecks, but there is a lot of fun here.
I want to hear from you. What are your hopes for this makeover?
A lot of the problems that we have is things are just not accessible to the children. And if everything was much more accessible, I think the day would run much more smoothly.
Okay, I agree with you. I think that we could do some space arrangement, and get things more accessible, and that'll also help kids be engaged with the learning materials while you're trying to help other kids through the routines. Tell me how you create such an inclusive environment here.
Well, first of all, we encourage families of all diversity and all backgrounds to tour the school and become part of our community. We have one family right now who is Native American. During Thanksgiving, Takala, she came up and she did a Thanksgiving presentation where she talked about what she believes and how she feels about Thanksgiving, which came from her mother. And we've also done a lot of kind of powwow songs, and Takala has been to a lot of powwows, so she will actually dance to Native American drums, and the other children will follow in suit. So Takala feels like she's important because all of her friends are watching her and are interested in what she's doing, and it's something that's from her culture. And
it sounds like her mom and you have a really great relationship that helps bring that into the program.
Yes.
My daughter, at home, we incorporate our culture, our native ways into our home lifestyle. In the past, when I've looked at child center programs and preschool programs for my daughter to get involved in, I look at what the perspective of the provider and the teacher, how their approach is with the children, and how I observe their surroundings and how, you know, they teach the kids, how they play with the kids. And for me, that helps me to determine whether that's a place that my daughter can be herself.
So thank you so much for the tour and for sitting down to chat with me today. I think I've got everything I need. I'm going to take this back to my team and we're going to make a plan for this makeover.
I'm very excited.
We'll see you on Saturday.
We will.
All right. So welcome everybody. This time on Meaningful Makeover, we are going to be visiting Nathan and Clare Juico's family childcare program. Nathan is really into following the child's lead. He uses an emergent curriculum. We found out that our budget is going to be limited to only $500 this time, and that's going to be a big challenge for us. Nathan's space is already pretty clean and organized, but he could use some more definition in his learning centers, and also the display area they're new to this space, so they're kind of just getting started in this area, and so they haven't gotten up all of their display yet. Some of the areas are under a little bit of construction still, and they're also needing maybe some more materials added to some of the learning centers.
So they have like math materials and that type of stuff, or not really?
There are some, there's not a lot of math materials, and science tools. There were no science tools. So that's something we're going to have to get a hold of.
I just had an idea for the science area back there. A light table would not be cheap, but if we could
put it on his
find
list.
one, yeah, that could add
would be
light.
We can
and
make
be
one.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
make
you
one.
can make
Okay.
one.
Great. So
Yeah.
maybe that could be a cool thing.
Oh, I love that idea. Let's think about making the light box.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How about family pictures? Is there much
He
of
has
that?
some family pictures up, yeah, and pictures of the kids doing stuff are present in the area, and you can even see like right here the kids each have their name, their center time. Like he had built this really amazing center calendar thing, and the kids have their picture on the block. Like he printed out their pictures and put it on the blocks. And they like each stand up every day and like say a pledge about how they're gonna do a great job at school and help their friends, kind of thing.
It's about lining up your kids, lining up.
I promise. Good reading line, said Paul Sample. I know my action influenced my friend. Therefore, I will be on my best behavior.
So how about we talk about who wants to do what? What are you thinking?
Well, I could probably donate a closet for dramatic play.
Oh,
Like a rack,
tell me about
right?
this. Oh yeah, do you have one?
No, but I can find one.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe we can collaborate on that.
yeah.
Let's think about that. Where do you think you'll find it, or do you think you'll make? I was thinking we might have to make
Oh,
one, like
really?
DIY,
Oh,
like
I'm just
Pinterest.
gonna go buy one.
Don't spend your own money because we can't. We have to limit it to $500.
Right.
So we really do have to make sure that we make this realistic. $500 is how much people get for their stipend. So we want to show how we're leveraging community
Right.
resources and DIY
Right.
to kind of make things go farther.
Yeah.
It's not, one concern is that it may not look as dramatically different
Right.
afterwards because there's not as much to change, and so
Right.
really thinking about how we're leveraging resources and
Right.
Yeah.
like how you are being resourceful with
Right.
what you're making over in this area, and guidance if somebody was going to start their own family childcare, like they just
Yeah.
moved into this spot, so
Right.
like what are the reasons you might put things in these locations, and
Yeah.
how you're using the things there, like talk up that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like we've got a great plan. I'll see you at Nathan and Claire's.
All right.
We are quite nervous, especially since Nathan and I are pretty hands-on, with the whole layout of the classroom and everything. He even created all of the cabinetry here and the tables and stuff like that. And so, to have others, do the work of reconfiguring the classroom is pretty nerve-wracking, but we are hoping for positive results. And it seems like from what DeEtta has assessed of our place, we are putting all of our trust in her and the team. So excited to see what's going to happen.
Okay, everybody, we're here at Nathan and Claire's. It's the day of the makeover. We have our assignments here. Are we feeling ready? Does everybody feel like we can get going? All right, is everybody in? Meaningful makeover! All right, let's go, everybody. Hi, Claire. We're here with the crew. It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Good.
Hi, how's it going? Hi. Come on in, everybody. Come meet Nathan and Claire. All right, everybody. Here's Nathan and Claire. We're here to do an awesome makeover for them today, and I hear you guys are actually going to be taking a hike. That's what I hear.
We're going to spend the morning outdoors.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to spend the morning indoors. So we'll see you guys later. One of the goals of Meaningful Makeover is to work with the provider and really help them realize their goals.
So this is the Rug Room Science Station. So at first when we got here, there were some plants, the wood was here, there were a couple of rocks. Since we had a $500 budget, we had to work with what the provider already had and then what we could bring in, and so we just sort of had to get creative and mix the two to make new activities, new toys. So we bought the magnifying glasses, but we did make these really cool sensory bottles that are just super easy to make. Just a couple of items in here, glitter, beads, some stars, food coloring for the color of the water, super easy to make at home.
So I'm working on the dramatic play area, and when I came in, there was lots of boxes with like different dress-up clothes, scarves, puppets, like a lot. So now we're kind of condensing it, and so DeEtta actually made this diaper table into a closet, and so we are now hanging up the costumes and the dress-up clothes in here. So here we have diversity, we have work represented in our wardrobe, and then we also have some fantasy. So children can dress up however they prefer. In general, it's important in dramatic play to have a variety as opposed to just having princess dresses to dress up in.
So I am in charge of the fine motor station or area, and what I'm doing is I'm kind of taking everything out first and then kind of reorganizing, and the reason I'm doing that is because there was a lot of great material here, but it was hard to access them because all of the bins were really tightly squished together. So a big part of what I wanted to do was to make sure that everything was easily accessible and visually the kids could say, oh, I see this, it's right next to what I'm supposed to do. I see that I have this card here. It means I put 1 Unifix cube here, 2 Unifix cubes here. So it's more guided that way, and the environment is doing that. So I'm trying to make it so it's very kind of pleasing to the eye, but also user-friendly.
I'm participating in Meaningful Makeover project because I think that physical environment is very important for children because they spend much of their day in the classroom. It needs to be home-like and warm. And also I think the environment should match the objectives in terms of teaching approach and in terms of learning goals. So personally today I'm working on diversity, so I printed out pictures that show diversity around the world, diversity among us, and I brought this cute toy which is from Russia and it's called Matryoshka. When I was young I used to play with it, so it opens up and more matryoshkas come out. So it's very good for teaching fine motor skills and also math skills. It's good for asking children to predict how many is in there. How many do you think will fit in there when you put it back together? And I think by playing authentic toys from different countries around the world, children develop respect to other cultures, and it inspires them to learn about cultures around the world.
All right, everybody, it's 12 o'clock and we're about halfway done. Let's go ahead and take a break and then we'll wrap up this makeover. All right, guys, come on. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
We're excited.
I'm a little nervous.
Are you excited, Lolly? I'm a little nervous too.
All right.
All right. I want you guys to close your eyes if you can and walk inside. Okay, carefully, don't hurt yourselves though.
All right.
Come on in, here I'll help you. Okay, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, open your eyes.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
All right, so this is the cubby area, and we went ahead and left the cubbies as is because I know how much the kids like to write their name, and that's such a great activity that they do that every day. We did find an art bin, which Nathan mentioned was something that had been a challenge for the kids. Their artwork was getting crumpled, and so this is individual storage for them, and there's 10 spots. We found some artwork, and we did try to put it in the cubbies, and this is rolling so you can, you know, decide where you want it to live, and hopefully that will be, hopefully the kids will like that.
Yeah,
They're gonna love it.
they will.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good that they have, you know, they have that sense of ownership, and they will just, you know, find their names and put the artwork that they've finished there, ready to take home you know, the same day they made it.
And their parents can see it because it's right by the door.
Wow, wow.
And then of course your sign.
I love that.
And so you can hang this up wherever you desire, or you can leave it right there. It looks kind of cool right there.
Right here. Yes, it's, you know, it's quite welcoming and it belongs. I mean, you know, it just matches what, you know, what our whole theme is.
Yep, that's what we were going for. I'm so glad you like it.
Great.
So over here, we added some cushions. One of our community liaisons actually sewed these cushions this week. So we were really excited about that. They fit really well.
That's a perfect fit.
We really struggled to kind of decide what to do about the book area here because, you know, the kids had a hard time and the books were falling on the ground, but we couldn't find something just perfect to fit right here. So kind of last minute, we came up with the idea to put some books along the bottom.
I think that's a great idea.
And see how, do you think that's going to be good, Lolly? And then there's also an extra basket of them there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And we made sure to keep that special book that I know is really popular right there. And the other photo books should be here somewhere as well. Oh, they're over in the basket.
But the cushions are quite homey.
Yeah, they look
quite
beautiful.
welcoming.
Yeah, I think they're going to really enjoy sitting there and reading stories. And there's even a little cozy pillow.
Yeah, can I try?
Give it a try.
All right. Yeah.
How does it feel? How is it, Lolly? Oh, there you go.
That's the danger there. You might just be tempted to take a nap out
A nice
here.
cozy little area.
Oh, this is great. Wow, DeEtta. Amazing.
All right, so in the art area, we mostly left it the same, but we did add a couple of items and we added labels. So hopefully the kids will like that and it'll be easy to remember where to put things away. Then down below, like we talked about, we added some fine motor materials to this area so the kids could take these activities to the table really easily. And for this activity, they are supposed to grab these pumpkin seeds and you put one in here and then so they've got the numerical value so they can learn their number item correspondence.
Oh, I see, yes.
And some fine motor skills. So hopefully they'll enjoy that activity. We've got several more activities down here that the kids can check out.
Wow, that's great.
And math activities. We got some geo boards down there. We also converted that little bookshelf into a puzzle area. And we put one puzzle on each shelf just so that it would hopefully attract the kids to working with those learning materials. We chose shape and number puzzles to put out in this area, and also we have the parquetry blocks on the bottom.
Wow. What I like about this is that during free choice, every domain gets explored. So there's math, there's literacy, whereas before we really focused on this area as an art station. But then again, you know, everybody comes over here during free choice. So it's great that they can choose what what they want to work on.
All right, so in the science area, we added some tools and a couple of other activities to this area. Before it was really a nature table, and Nathan was interested in bringing in some additional materials. So there's some magnifying glasses so kids can inspect these natural materials such as the seashells and the really great lava rocks that you guys already had. You have a great selection of rocks and coral for the children to explore, and they can get a really close look with these magnifying glasses. We also added, this is actually an activity over here, so that might need some instruction in the morning when the kids first come in. The idea here would be to encourage the kids to use these measuring tapes to measure the different materials, and they can jot down what they found out either on the clipboard or in a notebook.
Yeah, yes.
We also added a little music area right here. So you kind of have music in both spaces. We have a few choices. We tried to choose pleasant sounding instruments for out here. We really did. We also added in this little CD Discman. I know you probably haven't seen one of these for a while. We're a little bit nervous about this long cord, so we kept it out here where it can be closely supervised. You want to try it out, Lolly? See if it works? You know, these are pretty old. They're hard to get now, probably. Let's
we
see.
still have CDs, so.
Can you hear anything? Ah, it's working! Great. All right. So somebody could sit here and take a little break and listen to music.
Yes, this is a different kind of a quiet room.
Oh, except for it's got the loud music too.
Yeah, they can also listen to the music and then pick up one of the instruments and then maybe follow the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
All right, let's talk about our mini dramatic play area. Right over here.
Yes.
Okay, so there wasn't any dramatic play materials out here, and I know sometimes you guys spend quite a bit of time out here. And so we brought a few items. We just brought this little table, and we've got a couple of little dolls and a little bottle and a couple of little pieces of food. You might decide to add some more materials here. We weren't totally sure what all would work well. Maybe the kids can even help decide what dramatic play materials could be at this little station. Nice space for privacy for one or two kids to maybe read a story to these little dolls, or somebody that's trying to interact with each other, have some peer interaction around dramatic play might be fun. And the dolls are so cute. All right, so that's about it for this area. Are you guys ready to go to the back room?
Yeah.
We did some, you can't tell because I know you already went back there. All right, let's go check out the circle time room.
Okay.
I hope you like it. Ta-da!
Wow! The hats are hanging
Check out the
up.
dress up, DIY action.
Wow!
Wow.
This is great.
There's no more boxes with
Wow!
everything in it.
Salt and pepper. Is that real salt?
This thing, try the ketchup. Squeeze some ketchup on your dad.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Oh my god, so cool. This is so cool.
So this is a converted changing table.
That's what I was wondering. This is great.
So yeah,
Oh my
basically
gosh.
took out the middle shelf of the changing table,
Oh, and
added
then you
it.
put the rod.
Yep. Put the rod in there.
Great. Wow. Oh yes.
So
This is
yeah,
cool.
one of our data collectors, Gulchekhra,
Uh-huh.
she went and met with some of her friends, and they gathered up some really great cultural materials to bring today.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
And she also brought these some really beautiful dolls.
Wow.
This is cute. And the feel of different fabrics.
Yep.
You know, and the colors.
Emily's going to love this.
This is so cool. So there's a good mix. There's a good selection.
Yep.
Dress up.
Did Gulchekhra bring that too? Wow. She really brought some cool stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Mirrors on it.
Yes. Oh, look at the food. There's different selections of things that they see in their kitchen, in their homes. And we can add more to it.
That's right. Some people brought in some things from their home to add into the dramatic play food. Yeah.
And that would be a good idea to kind of engage the parents too.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, this is great. You know, we celebrate mealtime to kind of introduce different foods from their homes, but this is a good place to also do that.
And they can cook for their friends.
Exactly, how their moms and parents and families cook.
This is going to be a really great spot to practice taking on the roles of the adults in their lives.
Oh, I can't wait.
And people they don't know, because you've got lots of different options for close to home and far, far away.
Visiting families, yep.
All right, so in the fine motor area, we made quite a few changes.
Yeah.
We took some of the materials and put them away for storage, so you can rotate them out. We added a table and a couple chairs. This table is adjustable up to a higher height or lower, and you can also fold it up and put it away, because I know you guys often use this room as a really active space, so we also wanted to make sure that it was really easy to move things out of the way in here, so that you can get back to your dancing and all of that. So we made some activities. Actually, Virginia made some activities, one of our assessment leads. And what we've got here is a same and different board. And then on the back is, you could do maybe a game with the dice where like each kid rolls the dice and maybe puts a number of counting bears in their slot, and then you can see who has more and who has less. Or I'm sure you could do a lot of different games. And then here you could add in the counting bears, or they could do this with any kind of activity, same and different. So over here in the cozy book reading area, we added some more cushions. We really loved these little fairy lights you have, and we thought they looked really cool with this sheer fabric, kind of cozying up the area. One of the challenges was that you have this great bookshelf, but there wasn't a way for the children to easily access those books. And so one of our main goals was accessibility. So we did go ahead and get a new bookshelf that actually displays the books, so you can kind of rotate and have even more accessible. And then on the back is a dry erase board, and we've got some non-toxic dry erase markers here that the kids can use, and they are very washable. So they'll hopefully be okay in this back room. They're supposed to wash off very easily. And we've also got a couple of chairs the kids can use. And now you just kind of have a defined learning center here for and cozy area for the kids to hang out in. So we have one more spot that we haven't checked out yet. Let's go look over at where the old dramatic play kitchen was.
Yes.
All right, so here is our little cozy science nook. We added some science activity. We found some of your materials that you already had, and added some matching activities, nature matching activities. There's some science books over here. And this is also a space for privacy. So you could limit this to only 2 children at a time. There's a lot of different choices here. You might want to talk to them about these different activities since they're new and how to use them before you set everybody loose. Over here, the idea is that the kids could see how much the different amount of rocks weigh, and they could record that here. There's also some science books that they can choose from, and of course we added some fun display and life cycle that you guys can talk about with them when they're working over here.
You know, at this point, we think that, you know, having a dedicated, quiet, sitting down science center is great. It also helps that it's so close to the other room where we do free choice. And so, you know, and this is another option for them to do a quiet activity.
So now we're done with the tour. I hope you guys enjoyed everything that we did.
We did. We loved it. Monday's gonna be a very exciting day.
I think the kids will be really excited. And you know, we did this on a budget this time to really highlight how you can capitalize on community resources and how small changes can really make a big difference. And our hope is to meet your goals for accessibility and room arrangement and that intentional learning. And I hope that we were able to do that.
Absolutely exceeded any of our expectations.
Oh, that's
really.
so great
It's
to hear. And I also wanted to give you guys this little notebook. It has a little anchor on it because you guys really serve as an anchor for the children and the families that you work with every day. And I just want to say thank you for all of your work that you do.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I get a hug?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was great. Thank you so much. Lolly! You have fun with all the stuff and help the kids with all of the materials. And you can show them how to use them because you've had a great tour. All right.
I was really nervous about this whole thing to begin with, through all the interviews and the assessments. I'm really glad I put my trust in the Meaningful Makeover team. Haven't let me down at all. In fact, it's been just a great experience from beginning to end. Communication was great all the way around. A great time.
I'll see you guys later. I'm
all
out
right,
of here.
just like that.
Bye-bye, one more hug. Okay, see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Wow, look at that!
Did you see there's new books too? And a drawing board?
That's funny. What the book?
I promise
I promise
to lead a good line,
to lead a good line,
set a positive example.
to set a positive example.
I know my actions
my actions
influence my friends.
influence my friends.
Therefore,
I
will
be
on
on
my
my
best
best
behavior.
behavior.